Hello everyone. Some time ago I moved into a new house that had a plum tree in the corner. I had apple trees and pear trees down the wall on the other side of the garden, but the plum tree in the corner didn't bear any fruit. And I was sitting out there one day and I thought, I'm going to give that plum tree a lot of light. So I cut some branches off a tree, I cut down the wisteria bush, and then I cut out all the runners. I took a little bit of ivy off the trunk of the tree, and I cut one or two ingrowing branches, and there was one really big runner that was taller than the actual tree, and I took the axe to that and zeroed it out. And the next spring, the plum tree was covered in flowers, and in the autumn had so many plums on it, one of the branches was so weighted with plums, it broke the branch, it fell on the lawn. Now, I thought about this as applied to my own life. That did I have as much clutter as the plum tree? And I was in particular concerned about my complete disinterest in religion as served up by the Church of England. I wanted someone that I could relate to, some entity, some living entity that I could relate to. And so I thought, the plum tree is pink. People talk about being in the pink. So I created something I call the pinkness, which is a form of, got it from a Clifford D. Simak novel, where one of the astronauts in that space fiction was enveloped in a pink cloud, and it spoke to a highly intelligent life form. And at the end of the conversation, this life form said, I change with you my mind. And when the astronaut got back to the UK, his life had changed. He saw things from a new perspective. In fact, he had control of time. He could move backwards and forwards just slightly in time. Now, this is at the back of my own belief that there is some force, a force I've personally experienced, that can actually get you to do something. That's the entity, doesn't do things for you, but it gives you the power to do it yourself. I can remember the poem at the back of this book, which I call Dreams, and it opens up, release your dreams into the wind and let them help compose an atmosphere that may contain much more than you suppose. And it finishes up the poem. Let me just read it. When you release, with dreams released into the winds, there are no little people. And that's a delight in writing this book, that it makes everyone equal, and it invites thought about the sort of God that make you feel good. And it applies to everything you do in life, your honesty, your moral and ethical values, and it wants you to enjoy life on planet Earth. Because surely that's the intention, with all the wonderful joys we have on Earth, the music, the scenery, and of course not forgetting this wonderful thing called love. And making love to each other has got to be the most therapeutic and wonderful thing that happens in our lives, the love that we have for someone else. And to my delight, I sold this book to a grandmother in Sheffield. She read it in January. She broke COVID rules to see her man in February, and she married him in March. What a success. And I have had very, very big compliments from professors and doctorate people who've said it's inspirational. But it doesn't go on and on about God. It's not that sort of book. It goes on and on about life, and it's amusing, and it says things that many, many women in particular want to hear, because if they read this book, it will open the doors that I think that normal religions have closed to them. And it might have the same effect on men, as if you can get a message across to men, of course, because they usually know every damn thing. But women in particular will love this book, and I recommend they buy a copy as soon as they can. Thank you very much.